I lived in Dothan from the time I was born up until I was 6 or 7 years old. That's when we moved down to Florida. We stayed in Florida for about 13 or 14 years, and I worked on the farm the whole time I was down there. We lived on this plantation. If you did something in that man's tobacco field he didn't like, they had an old man called him Mr. Bond, and he had a belt come off of machinery. It was about an inch thick, and he had holes about the size of a dime cut in this hole about maybe 6 or 7 inches apart. And if you ran through that tobacco farm, that man ran down the road to pick up the next stack of tobacco down there, and you hit one of them leaves or something like that and knocked it and broke that leaf, a white man would come out dancing. Bond beat that nigga's ass over there running down through my barrel. And he'll come over there and lean up against a post or sit down in a chair or something, and you would lay across his lap and he would whip you. There's some that had ran 2 or 3 times, and the white man would just say, shoot that nigga the next time he run. And they would shoot you. They wouldn't give you no proper burial. You would lay there until everybody got off from work, and then they might go out there and pick you up, dig a 6-foot hole, put you in it, and that was it. If they didn't get enough workers, they would go to upstates like New York, New Jersey, and Ohio and places, and they would pick homeless people up off the streets and tell them they give them a place to live, feed them. They would also tell them they would give them a place to stay. The people that he brought down there, he would let, if he took them down there and they was grown and they had no money in their pocket, he would give them money. That's how they got you stuck on these farms. You couldn't get off this man's farm if you owed him $25. You couldn't leave his farm until you paid him off. And sometimes they might not take no more than $2 out of your paycheck. We was living in Florida, and my dad got tired. I think he owed this white man about $15 or $20. My dad had some of his relatives came from Dothan and picked him up and told him, said, well, we're going to take you back to Dothan and you can find a place up there to stay. All right, well, he went up there and talked to this white man that had, I think he had about 5 or 6 cows. And he said, well, I got a house that y'all could live in up there. And you could live on my own. But he had to come down there and move us back from Florida back up here. But he wouldn't be caught down there in Florida, in Quincy, Florida, because he would be killed. Moving niggas off my farm, you ain't even supposed to be on my plantation. All right, well, he came down there and stayed downtown in Quincy, Florida until dark. And he had told my mom and dad to pack all this stuff up. And he had a truck, or pickup truck. No, we didn't have no electric light. All you had was lamps. And he came down there. That man was scared to death. Every time a car would pass by, he'd tell us, blow out the light, because he didn't want nobody to know. He was moving us from down there. He had to pull up to the door, the back of the door. And we got so much stuff on there, and he told them, we got to go, because this is just getting a little bit too scary. We had to leave half of our furniture and stuff down there. We left a whole lot of stuff down there that we couldn't put on that truck. We had to drive back roads through the woods all the way until we got back close to Dothan. And then we came upon the main road, which most of them was dirt roads. And when we got back here, we started sharecropping. When we came back up to Dothan and start working and we're going to school at Columbus, Alabama, I started off in the 4th grade. I did the 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, and the 7th grade, all in 1 year. We got the books that white people had the year before, and they know they was coming to black school. They wrote niggers and everything in the back of the book and all, and do that because they know they was going to black school. The state furnished the books, and they getting by the cheapest way they can. When you went to town or went to a bathroom, they had black and white uniform. They had black and white water. You didn't drink out of white fountain unless you got beat up by white people or you went to jail. We had moved back to Ozark. I went home one day and I told my mom, I said, Mama, I'm gonna quit school. She said, you gonna quit school? I said, yeah. She said, you know you gotta tell your daddy that you're gonna quit school. Why you on there? I said, I just don't like it. So she said, well, you're gonna have to tell your daddy that you're gonna quit school. I said, that's right, I'm telling you, because I know darn well my dad was a man of very short words. He had said something like, I don't give a damn, and that was the end of it. So he told my mama the next morning, we used to get syrup in a tin can, but she would wash that out, and that's what she would put his dinner in, because he was working at a sawmill. When she told us, said, well, you know Dan talking about quitting school. And she said, I don't give a damn. Get him a syrup can and put him some biscuits and salmons in there, and he can go to the sawmill. Get up, boy, you going to the sawmill. I went out to the sawmill that morning, and it started to rain. At sawmills, when it's raining, you have to knock off. So we knocked off, and I had heard about the army. I came back home, and we load up on a truck to go to the sawmill. I came straight back And when we got close to downtown, maybe down there, somewhere around the Baptist church, I got off the truck and I told my dad, I said, I'm gonna go downtown and get me maybe a cone of ice cream or something. I got off that truck and walked right straight down to the recruiter's office, which was located in the courthouse. And I told him, man, I said, I want to sign up for the Army. I didn't know nothing about their volunteer. He said, well, they done took all the volunteers. When will they get another group going in the Army? He said, well, they got all they're gonna get from down in this area. He said, it'll be about another month. I was so disappointed. I said, I gotta go back. I ain't tell you know what I'm saying to myself, I gotta go back to that damn sawmill. He was looking at some papers on it. He said, wait a minute. He said, you can volunteer for the Army. I said, what's that? He said, when you sign up for the Army, you go in the Army for 3 years. If you volunteer, you'll go in the Army for 2 years. So I volunteer. Hey, it's okay. You be down here in the morning. Fact about it, we got 4 people leaving here in the morning, and I'll take you down to Dothan, where they'll put you on a bus. He said, go ahead and take the papers and fill it, and take the papers and fill it out, and put you going in the Army for 2 years, and the rest of it, I'll fill it out. So he filled it out. So I'm so happy I'm going in the Army. I walking back home. We was living down on Hull Street. And it hit me like a ton of bricks halfway home. You gotta tell your mom and daddy you're going in the Army. What they gonna say? So I walked in the home. My dad had done ate. He had done went somewhere. And I told my mom, I said, Mama, guess what? She said, what? I said, I'm going in the Army. Oh Lord, my son finna go to the war. Why are you going in the Army? I said, Mama, I don't want to work at no sawmill. She said, well, what your daddy gonna say? I said, Mama, he can't say nothing. Once you join the Army, if you don't go, you're AWOL. They'll put you in jail. She told him, he said, well, let him go on. Maybe he'll go over there and get killed. That's just the way my dad put it. So I went on in the Army. Now, the recruiter was a white sergeant. And he had an Army car. He put me and another black dude and a white guy in the back, and put one white guy in the front seat with him. We went down and we had breakfast in Dothan downtown. It was called the Charcoal Steakhouse. The white boys, they ate in the front, in the restaurant. We weren't allowed in the restaurant. We had to go in the back door. They went in the front door, and they took us round to the back door and put us in. We had to sit back down, and we had grits and eggs and bacon. Sit on a lard can and hold our plate in our hand and eat off the plate in the kitchen. In the kitchen, where the cooks was, sitting on 5-gallon lard can. you wasn't even allowed to sit out in the restaurant where white people sit.
Yeah, you know, back then you couldn't even go in the front door. You know what I'm saying? You had to go to the back door, and then they'll bring that to you to the back door. You know? Go to the damn back. That's what they used to say when I was a little bit. They used to give us our shit out there. Fucking back, you know. You couldn't go in unless you was white. Black, you gotta come to the back motherfucking door. Here, nigger. And throw the shit out the back. And I'm like, I was little. Here, nigger.
There still was places that you couldn't go. If you had on a uniform and you went downtown on the weekend, that don't mean that you could go to a white restaurant or so forth. You had to find out black soldiers hung around, and that's where you went. After I got out of the army, I started working at the funeral home. I worked there until 4 or 5 years. I worked there until I got married. I was down on the block, and there was a stranger in there talking to John Henry Howard. All right. When I saw this man and I talked to him, and he said, he might be interested in going to things like that. And so he said, come here, Dan. So he came over there, and he said, this guy here I want to talk to. So the guy told me, said, we're starting a government program at Tuskegee. We're gonna pay y'all $75 a week to go to this program. It lasts a year. If you finish the program, you can get a job. What they was trying to do is get people, since they had they was trying to integrate black and white. I mean, as you was educated, you would have a better chance of getting a job. And they had 4 programs you could go in. You could take butcher, but we learned after we got to school, there ain't no such thing as a butcher. You a meat cutter. You process the meat. I signed up for that program. Before, took there for about 3 months, and then I moved. I found a house up there, and I moved my family up there. H. Rap Brown was more or less a coordinator. He taught us, he didn't teach nonviolence. Martin Luther King was teaching nonviolence, because whenever woman or man, if you was black, when we was on marches, they would sick dogs on you, turn fire hydrant hoses on.